Hello. As above, so below. I'd like to explore that well-known, almost a catchphrase, in context of what our Aix channel is talking about. Now, ever since I've started watching Jason's presentations, when he mentions the AIX object that falls out of the sky, I've always had this image in my mind of something not unlike one of these light projectors you would find in a theatre, up on rails, sort of above these, or level with the height of the top of the curtains. The sort of things you'd use on film sets as well. Basically sort of a cylindrical tube with a lens on the end in a like a square, normally in black. And the other day, when I was talking to Rudy, he showed me a short video that has taken a clip from that film, The Truman Show, which shows that very same object I've described that falls out the sky in front of this character Truman. So whether my subconscious has actually stored that, because I've only seen that film once as far as I remember, and I wasn't looking with the eyes I would look at the film now. So whether that has independently formed in the mind, or whether that is, I formulated that picture subconsciously from that memory of that film, I really could not tell you. All I can do, and all any of us can do, with any certainty, hand on heart, is when we talk from personal experiences. Otherwise, it is just a theory, it is just a concept or a belief. Right, where do I want to go with this one next? So Ley Lines on Earth is your Sow Below. I've suggested on a video a long time ago now that there are sky tracks. Now, there's many channels have speculated and talked about atmospheric electricity, free energy. Consider where our attention goes, the energy flows. Consider also on any device, be it a computer, laptop, mobile phone, you've got an option. You can power off or you can reset, so it seems to go off and comes back to life again. And there's that brief period where nothing seems to happen, where it does a reset. It's clear evidence in history that the ancients counted in days, as our Aix channel has shown. And it was a 360-day year where the pole star was Draconis, which has now become Polaris. And no doubt it will shift to something else after the next reset. We effectively reset ourselves when we become open to all possibilities. Many that I have talked to have said to me they're feeling this or they're feeling that. Well, what do you expect? You've opened yourself up to a greater spectrum of frequencies, so yes, of course you're going to feel it. That is where the truth is revealed to each and every one of you personally. There is a reason why we have individual personalities. Even in the lower consciousness, we have this sort of awareness of being individual of each other. Of course, when you start walking that spiritual path, and you effectively flip your polarity. So I would hope that you are all coming from the heart and not from anywhere else with anything you do. When you flip that polarity, there's certainly no going back. It is one door opens and another one closes. You can't go back to that three-dimensional reality once you've gone beyond a certain step down this path. It is near on impossible. It would be such a torture to yourself to even try it, I should think. But this free energy, consider our energy, consider the micro and the macro to this, and how this vapor canopy will come back up. I would suggest it's electromagnetic, and the salt water, the salt content in the oceans is all connected to this. We get salt water in tears when the lenses, our domes over our eyes are filled with tears. It's a release, the water from above in our micro version, and these physical avatars. Now, where I'm going with this is this thing that falls out the sky. It would seem there is a very complex, elaborate design that affects every facet of every minute of every day of your life, that seems to be doing something to impede you from spiritually growing and finding within oneself your true self, your true power, your true potential. I feel also there is a very good reason for that, in that had we got this power from day one without going through these experiences and being able through those experiences to then reach a point where you are walking at that path, that very thin line between the black and the white, seeing both sides, that it then becomes clear that we do in fact have this awesome co-creation energy within us. It's so easy to create the things we don't want, the things that we fear, and we put attention into that and draw that very thing that we don't want when it is a negative energy. But at the same time, you don't really, I wouldn't have thought, want to go completely over the other way, because it then causes another imbalance. It's not about staying in that happiness state, that sort of, I can't even think of a right analogy here, but that sort of happy, clappy, flower power, what's basically been used in that whole sort of hippie culture that seemed to be backed by Coca-Cola and Pepsi on all the adverts, the whole flower power movement. It's more about being in the moment, being contented, not rocked one way or the other. Being in that balance, that's not to say that you can't enjoy yourself, of course, but it's how you enjoy yourself, and is it in a way that is going to affect others negatively or positively? What energy are we sending out? But it's keeping it in balance, and I feel that balance is described as this tilt of the earth. As more and more become aware in various stages, it's tipping that fulcrum point. I'm sure you'll notice with computers and things and mobile phones, if you are running several apps all at the same time, they can get rather warm. So the more you become a sovereign individual within this realm, this artificial intelligence X is having to do a lot more work. I mean, consider if you've got this free energy, it's talked about as dirty electric that we're getting in this material realm. But what if the clean electric is being siphoned off purely to keep things on those sky tracks cloaked, to keep this AIX thing putting in an interference pattern into this realm? Now, as more and more of you become individual and unpredictable, this thing is it's going to require more and more power, so that may be why it falls. To do with this reset as well, and this polarity shift. I was asked on a sort of related topic now, I was asked about was I advocating or was I not advocating cannabis? Well, I think it's fair to say that I cannot give out something that would be construed as medical misinformation. All I can say is you are in an organic avatar. Plants are organic. The avatars are part of the organic realm. Picture, if you will, the cross-section of a key going into a lock. This plant medicine is shall we say, a natural synchronization of plant matter and human organic matter, DNA, chlorophyll. Let's face it, we're taking in vitamin D from the sun, same as the plants. As Rudolf Steiner describes it, a plant is an upside down man, or a man is an upside down plant. So the root ball in a plant is our brains. We have roots on our hairs. We're sort of in an upside down backward world, as it were. And of course then there's our connection of these avatars with the Mother Earth board, the motherboard of Earth. Consider in reflexology, there is a part on the sole of each foot that connects to every part of the body. So you've got quite a big surface area when you go barefoot. So you are connecting with that natural thing. So down to individual choices and whether something feels right to you would be what I would have to say on this. For example, if someone said to me that they get paranoia on cannabis, C. Anubis, Anubis being a gatekeeper to death. Death is one door opens, another one closes. So it's opening a doorway in the mind. The plant medicine opens a doorway in the mind. My ears are ringing like crazy at the moment. Consider looking in the mirror with the material realm. These devices, these mobile phones, these cell phones, when you download an app, the circuits are no different inside the phone. You've not sent the phone away to have it pulled apart and anything done to it. The circuitry is already in the device. So plant medicine and spiritual downloads, connections with Mother Earth, are just basically acts of a very spiritual and natural order. you are creating a new world order within oneself, you could say. On the matter of a depopulation, I would consider that in terms, and this is the way I'm now hearing it, not from a fear perspective. What our KX channel would call errance. Those of you that are becoming individual sovereign beings, walking your spiritual path, as it were, you're becoming sort of free radicals in this program. And you're taking in these apps from Mother Earth through the cosmic influences, through the spiritual influences. Things are shown to you in the mind's eye. You will experience feelings that you haven't experienced before through these various methods. Go with what feels right to you on everything. We come into this realm, this period between birth and death. Life is an experience. We learn through experiences. We can only give testimony of our own personal experiences. Yet they're the only things you can really put hand on heart and say, I know this to be true because I have experienced it. It's the greatest teacher. So nothing that has ever happened to you is actually bad. It's only a perception. We learn far better when we make mistakes. And we learn by those that lead by example. So it's very important that we do that inner work on ourselves. It's a very loosely used term, I feel, that is never adequately explained, but it's digging into oneself, facing all those aspects of yourselves that you don't want to face and addressing it. Forgiving people from your past and yourself, most importantly. It's that putting the oxygen mask on yourself first so you are able to help others. This is in the spiritual, the essence within these avatars, but we are a consubstantiality between the organic and the spirit in individual characters in this realm. I don't care whether you think of it as a simulation or whether this is real. It's all an experience. I think we can agree on that. And how you feel about it beyond that, that's entirely up to you. But I feel this is a wonderful time to be alive, and alive as in the electrical current sense, especially when we go barefoot on Earth and connect with it. And we connect with the electromagnetic spectrum of everything around us. So there's a few things in this video now that I feel it's not for me to give you the answers. This is purely for me to offer you metaphorical keys that you then can take in yourself, and you ask yourself those very questions about yourself. Weigh up how you feel about things and what feels right to you. Most likely it's going to be what is right, because it is right to you. But it's equally important to look at the broad spectrum across many things, rather than jump in or try and wrap things around existing things we think we know. I've had many say to me, I'm feeling this or I'm feeling that. Well, when you have an open mind and you're opening up your receptivity to greater frequencies, broadcasts, as it were, well, yes, you're going to feel more, but that is where you experience things inside. It's in feeling, in how you feel inside yourself. So I hope this has helped you at least be able to formulate questions for yourself, and then it's up to you from there. Ta-ta for now, and love to you all.